I want to talk about a feeling you might recognize, even if you've never really had a name for it. It's this quiet, internal pause, and it can show up when you least expect it, especially when, on paper, everything in your life seems to be going just fine. Just take a moment with that question. Have you ever felt it? That little sense that something is happening, even when you can't quite put your finger on what it is.
It's not some loud alarm bell. It's not a big dramatic crisis. It's more like a quiet stirring, a really subtle shift inside that's just enough to make you pause and notice that something feels different.
And the really interesting thing about this feeling is that it often arrives when nothing is obviously wrong. Your life works, you're capable, you're responsible, you're functioning, there's no fire you need to put out. And yet, you feel it. Something is shifting. It's like an internal current, a signal that a change is starting to take root way before it has a name or any clear direction. So let's just sit with this for a minute, this quiet, stirring feeling, because it's really not a problem we need to solve. It's a moment that holds its own meaning. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? The goal isn't to immediately fix or change anything at all. Instead, it's an invitation to create some space, to just listen to what's happening inside of you, and maybe, just maybe, begin to rebuild that trust in your own inner knowing. Now, let's be really honest here. This phase can feel deeply uncomfortable. Not having clear answers can make you feel restless, maybe even a little lost. So let's talk about that discomfort.
What if we just reframed this feeling for a second? What if ambiguity isn't a sign that you're off track, but it's actually a signal that something new is starting to form inside you? It's a necessary part of the process, even if it feels uncomfortable.
And what about self-doubt? It almost always shows up right alongside ambiguity. It's so easy to see it as some kind of personal failure. But what if we saw it as a form of protection? A mechanism that maybe developed a long, long time ago to keep you safe from the unknown. It's not a flaw, it's just a pattern. A really crucial skill to develop in this space is learning to tell the difference between two very different internal messages. There's that quiet hum of knowing, and then there's the loud clang of urgency. True inner knowing, it often feels calm. It feels grounded and steady. It doesn't scream for your attention. But anxiety or pressure, that often feels really urgent, demanding, and stressful. It pushes you for an immediate answer. Learning to distinguish between these two can change absolutely everything. And the truth is, so many of us have become experts at talking ourselves out of what we feel. We learn to explain away our intuition, to wait for someone else to give us permission, or to demand absolute certainty before we trust that quiet inner voice. It's a really common habit. So, if the goal isn't to push for answers, what's the alternative? Well, it's something much simpler, though not always easy. It's simply an invitation to listen. When you start to listen, your whole goal kind of shifts. You're no longer trying to solve the restlessness, but to normalize it, to see it as okay. You can start to understand your discomfort, to interrupt that urgent need to figure it all out right now, and most importantly, you can learn how to simply stay with yourself through it all. This is so important. The focus right now isn't about figuring out the next 5 years of your life. The real practice is to stop abandoning yourself in the uncertainty of this moment. It's all about presence, not performance. And all of this leads us to a really beautiful way to think about this period of transition. We can call it the space before movement. Let's be really clear about what this space is not. It is not a goal-setting program to make you more productive. It's not some kind of personality reset. And it is definitely not a demand for you to take immediate action or make a big change. It's something else entirely. This is orientation. It's a time for finding your bearings, for looking at your own inner landscape, and for just understanding where you are right now, without all that pressure to be somewhere else. By giving it this name, we give it a purpose. It isn't some empty void. It's the quiet, necessary, fertile ground that comes just before something new begins to move. So I'll just leave you with this. You don't have to know what comes next to begin listening. You can just start right here, right now.